Segment one this morning, another deadlock in the Menendez case. It was deja vu in an LA courtroom on Friday when the jury trying Lyle Menendez told the judge they couldn't reach a verdict. The same thing happened in the trial of his brother Eric. The sons admit they killed their parents after years of sexual abuse. Joining us from Los Angeles this morning is Los Angeles District Attorney Gil Garcetti. Thank you for joining us. Good morning.
You're welcome.
You have made it clear you plan to retry this case and once again go for a first-degree murder conviction. What makes you think you'll get any different outcome the second time around?
This is a case, if ever I saw one, where we have a willful, premeditated, deliberate act by two men against their mother and father. We know that there's a strong emotional pull on this case, but we now have, thank goodness, obviously at great expense, the experience of that first trial, and we learned much from that first trial. I'm confident now that we can go forward knowing the entire defense and persuade the jury that the facts and the law as we believe them to be are in fact what they should find.
Well, tell me specifically what you learned from this case, given now that you know what the entire defense is. How will you improve your case?
Well, part of it, I think, Paula, is that we know that at least in one case, emotion, in one case with one juror, that emotion played a huge part. The responsibility of a jury is to determine the facts and apply the law, not to be overcome by emotion, not to let emotion overcome common sense, and the primary responsibility of applying the facts to the law. We understand that challenge, and it is a big challenge, but we now have seen the defendants testify, we know their entire defense, we know all of their expert witnesses, we know what they're going to say. We're simply better prepared at this point.
You're talking about one juror being overcome by emotion. What about the rest of the jury? I mean, let's look at the breakdown as it's told to us by jurors in the Lyle Menendez case. Women jurors have said that 5 men voted for a first-degree murder conviction, 1 for second-degree, and all of the women voted for voluntary manslaughter. What does that tell you?
It still tells me that we can, if you present the evidence in the right way and you approach this in a professional manner and get to the jury that their responsibility is not to consider the emotion, not to consider anything but the facts and the law, that we can still prevail. We had one juror who, contrary to law, brought in her own experiences and talked about those experiences with the jury. That's not fair. That's not proper. We believe that we can now go forward with the case, perhaps taking a slightly different approach, and convince the juries, put aside your own emotional feelings. The judge decides the sentencing. You decide only the guilt or innocence of the defendants.
Are you saying that one juror tainted the rest of the jury?
I don't know if one juror tainted the jury. What I am saying, Paula, is that we know that emotion played a big part in this. We still are going to be talking to the jurors. I know the jurors tried hard in this case, but we want to now sit down with them in depth and discuss their feelings. What happened here?
Given what you know about the sex of the jurors and how they ended up voting in the end, does that mean you will plan to get more males impaneled in the next jury?
Well, I think it was obvious during the selection, during this process, that the defense was excluding as many men as they could. And in fact, we were trying to put men on the jury. I think this battle, if you want to call it that, will continue. We simply want fair, impartial jurors who will put emotion aside and apply the facts to the law. Judge the veracity of each witness, especially the defendants.
Let's talk about what the defense was so capable of doing, and that was shifting the focus of this trial from the actual killings to the brothers' charges of sexual abuse. You did not cross-examine them the first time around. Was that a mistake?
No, we did cross-examine.
But it was uncorroborated evidence. What will you do the second time around?
We will go after I'm assuming that the brothers will testify again. We will go after them. We will go after them in a way that we hope will be able to establish that perhaps this is fabrication. But I'm not going to start getting into the strategy of how we're going to retry the case. I understand that one reason simply for me being here is to explain, why are you retrying this case? What I'm trying to say, and I'm telling all the citizens of the County of Los Angeles, that the evidence here warrants murder in the first degree. It does not warrant anything less than that. I have a professional and ethical responsibility to seek justice, and justice in this case, in my professional opinion, and I've been a prosecutor for 25 years, is murder in the first degree.
Final question this morning, will you accept a plea bargain? There has been talk of Leslie Abramson going for that in Eric's case.
Obviously that is their goal in a hung jury, as to now let's settle this case. No, this is murder in the first degree. This was cold-blooded killing of the mother and father by two men, their sons. It deserves murder in the first degree.
District Attorney Gil Garcetti, thank you so much for joining us this
You're
morning.
very welcome.
We appreciate it. Just about 16 minutes after the hour, Harry.
Thanks, Paula. Up next, Hattie Kaufman shows us the advertising of tomorrow. It looks an awful lot like the magazine of today. Still ahead on CBS This Morning, Dr. Howard Torman on how to lower your blood pressure. Plus, we'll go on the set to preview a special delivery on tonight's Northern Exposure. And Gordon Elliott goes home.